Hello, my dear ones. How art thou? You know, I've been trying to get my stuff organized. Why is that? Why is it? And there's been several studies that tell you if you do nothing, you'll live 2 or 3 or 4 times longer. One of the answers is chemotherapy. Chemotherapy kills. I don't know what they're thinking. We've talked about this before, a lot before, that chemotherapy is not Jesus juice. That stuff is probably the hottest acid you've ingested outside of hydrochloric acid in your stomach. And if you don't control hydrochloric acid in your stomach, you're going to ulcerate your stomach. And then ulceration is destruction of tissue. Oh, it's cancer of the stomach. I wonder what caused it. Oh, yeah, that cancer, that it just goes everywhere. I mean, these people are king-size stupid. To a fault, major. Here's one. Study links third mRNA vaccine dose to increase cancer mortality. Oh, I love this one. Yeah, that's the problem that we have. There's a lot of good articles in the. Most of this is from the Epoch News. They're a good news organization. They try to tell the truth everywhere they go. This question comes from my son's counselor in California, Natalie. And the question is, have you worked with a client who underwent an ileostomy and was later able to have it successfully reversed following detoxification and healing? We have, but let me say this. The client's surgeons have, the client's surgeons have told him that reconnection may be possible, keyword may be possible, if he undergoes chemotherapy, but he has chosen to pursue a natural healing approach instead. Smart guy. This oncologist or surgeon is drinking something real hard that's messed up his mind. If there's any surgeon or oncologist that think your cells, your tissues are going to do better, heal better after you have put 1.5 to 2 pH in the blood how many times, you're delusional to the point where you need to give up your practice. If you don't understand what you're doing, then why are you doing it? And that's, this is the whole thing. His only hope is to get into getting your kidneys filtering. Fix why. Why would you need to have, I don't care, call it colon cancer, whatever you want to call it, a tumor? What's going on with the colon where you're now breaking down cells, degrading cells in the wall of the colon? What possibly could be causing that? Well, acid ash diets on the outside and lymphatic on the inside. So interstitially in the wall of the bowel, and you've seen it, iridology picture after iridology picture after iridology picture, that the buildup of lymph interstitially in the bowel wall, small and large intestines. We see it. And we've been talking about that. Why is that, other than these high-protein diets, which is going to pull lipids toward you? Your body's going to try to get lymph fluids to these areas and more. That inflammatory process is involved in all of this, trying to get lymph stagnation of acids out of these tissues or come against them and neutralize them with alkaline blood. That's why you see the histamine reaction. That's why you see all these reactions that the body is trying to help itself. Medical doctors are sitting on some, I don't know, planet far, far away, thinking that there's kind of creepy crawlers. Look at Rife, thinking everything was a microbial cause. And the Rife machine, I had a Rife machine, big deal. Spent that money for nothing. It's just on and on and on. I bought all kinds of things to play with them, on and on and on. Nothing works better than the chemistry you're playing with. Get away from acid chemistry. Your diets always should be alkaline ash foods. That's the diet for all vertebrates. Even carnivores, that's talked a lot about, goes to the gut tissue where, in a lot of these, like antelopes, a lot of these vegetarians, because you don't see a carnivore eat another carnivore. They don't taste good. Yuck. The same way with fish. A lot of people, some people are starting to, but a lot of people wouldn't eat like shark and stuff like that in the past. Carnivores love vegetarians. And I've heard they always go to that gut tissue where there's pre-digested proteins. It makes it a lot easier hit on them because remember in the peptide breakdown, that's where you get the trypsin, chymotrypsin. That's where you have to have a 7 to 8 pH chyme in the small bowel. Coming out just a few inches away, a stomach that could go down to 1.5 or less. Amazing what bicarbonate can do, but it can't dance a jig and change nitrogen into carbon and all this other stuff. So these are still acid ash foods. And the evidence is when you see a diet high in protein, what do you see? You see the body stealing calcium all over the place to try to keep that blood pH up. Acidic blood kills, and in a short order. You get trapped in a fire or whatever, you got 3 or 4 minutes breathing that acid smoke and you're done. Done. So his only hope is to get those kidneys filtering and get that lymphatic system going. This guy, what does it say? Stage 4, this is John, and this guy has got stage 4 colon cancer, kidney failure, and heart failure. Which one created which ones? Exactly. Kidney failure created the heart failure and the colon cancer. Why? Because the kidneys control the sewer system, the lymphatic system that deals primarily with the acid side of chemistry. That's why it's heavy lipid. Very easy to understand this. And I would think an intellectual geek like a medical doctor, take away the conditioned thinking, would understand this pretty well. But that's what I would do and work on that. However, I don't know the condition of they probably, cut out where they have clear margins and they're just wanting to give you chemotherapy and how you would ever think chemotherapy would improve the ability to reconnect an ileostomy. I have no clue to where that consciousness even came from. It's sad that stuff's out there because there is regeneration, and that's what John needs to go after. It sounds like that's what he's going after, smart guy. Because you can't treat a cell or two that's been broken down by acids with a hotter acid that did the job. You can't just sit there and say a cell out of nowhere degraded itself and became a cancer cell. That thought, that has to make an oncologist kind of go, yeah, because that is bigger than king-size stupid. All right, all fruit, love it. Love it. I was solid fruit for only 3 years, maybe 4, and I just couldn't. I couldn't take it anymore. But I got down to 157, and I couldn't break 157. I had been doing martial arts and all kinds of stuff, and I just wasn't in the mood. I was more in a spiritual mood, you know. Oh, wow. This is Peg, P-E-G, is male, United States. This young man is 85 years young. Peg, oh my God, 6'1", interesting. So there is a pituitary probably involved with this. 140 pounds, 6'1", 85 years old, and a skinny 140 pounds. Oh, okay. Parkinson's diagnosis, all right? I have been looking at all of your videos for all the information that you have put out on Parkinson's. My elderly father has been diagnosed with it. When you say 100% fruit, I'm curious if that includes things like tomatoes, avocados, and zucchini, or is just the sweet fruit? You know what? That's a good question, because I'll say it first. You know, when you start getting into this, of course, yeah. Now, tomatoes are acidic. They're the nightshade family, you know, tomatoes, potatoes, eggplants. So supposedly, you know, the nightshade's a toxic, very toxic plant family, obviously. But, you know, hybrided all this stuff down, people are chopping it down. I love a good ripe beefsteak tomato, you know, but it's acidic. And when you have Parkinson's or something like any especially neurological problems, right? The degradation of the neurological systems, you got two of them. You got the central nervous system, and then you got the autonomic. The autonomic is the worker bee. That is creation. It's positive and negative, you know, up and down, feeling strong, feeling weak. That's your autonomic. Central nervous system is the wizard. It's the Wizard of Oz, the overseer of all of that and the communicator to the mind. The brain is not the mind. Medical doctors have made those statements that the brain is the mind. And I want to go, damn, what's wrong with you guys? I know, you're having too much milk. But avocados, if he can handle avocados, I have no problem with avocados, zucchini. I love cucumbers. That's my go-to in the vegetable kingdom. I call them veggie fruits, and I think they're better than your greens and things like that in the ways of Homo sapiens. Take a look at the animals that do the greens. These are the animals that have the jaws that can grind. Our jaws can't grind. Our jaws are primates. And see, we have a little, but we don't have. If you watch a horse or a cow eat, grew up with them, you know, and it's just constant eating and grinding this cellulose. And then, you know, it's well known that most animals, especially herbivores, cows, stuff, have 4 compartments. I've heard some animal, I can't remember, had 7 different compartments to break down different types of food. I don't know. I mean, a good veterinarian might know. Dr. Poe might know, you know. But there's just so much to everything. But each species is different, obviously, or they would be the same species. So primates are their own species. Your omnivores, which is your bears and dogs and hogs and chickens or birds and stuff, that's their own species. Nobody looks the same. Your herbivores, obvious. You know, those are your, you know, they're small. Some are smaller, but, you know, your herbivores can get quite large. You go back to dinosaur time, some of the herbivores were huge, you know, and they're tameable and lovable and things like that. A lot of your omnivores can be that way, especially if you get them baby. You know, a baby bear. Remember that guy that raised grizzly bears from babies and just play with them, and big, big grizzly bears? This guy was good, 6 foot something. They used him in movies and stuff, his grizzly bears. So everybody is different in that way. So when I talk about going into the fruits, that's our natural food of humans. And I've got my energy going for the book now, so I'm going to be doing it myself. And I'm going to get Steve in here. We'll be filming chapters here in a couple of weeks and try to get this thing sewed up for you, because I've got a lot of facts in there, you know. We also went to AI. I might have told you on one video. We went to AI, and especially on the comparisons of milks and fruit juices. What do you give your little infant when you can't breastfeed? Right? Do you give them Similac or something like that? Or a soy formula, which is high in proteins? And what's interesting to me, these natural formulas, like with soy and stuff, they don't have mother's milk percentages. You go to Similac. Similac has been around for how long? I think I used it on my son. I can't remember. Yeah, my first one. Its percentages matches mother's milk. I was impressed with that, but it's full of chemicals. And just, it's not a natural product. It has vitamins and minerals in it. Whoopee. You don't add things into things like that and expect to have the same result as something that comes packing with it naturally. So, but what's funny is AI even said cow's milk not fit for humans. That's funny. AI. That ought to stir up some crap. But, starting out like that is great. I'm looking for high fructose. High fructose foods are going to be the more rapid healers on any neurological condition there is. That's why I really like the grapes, because you have a kind of a balance. You've got high fructose, but you also have nice astringents. Because astringent, it's one thing we're hydrating. That loosens things up. And astringent then starts drawing and pulling. And that's kind of what the lymphatic formulas are. Bloodroot astringens. It pulls a tumor right out of your skin. And I pulled all the way from the liver out of the body. It's amazing. There's questions that you have that how things can get back in the bowel from in the body, and then there's all kinds of questions you can have there that are decent, scientific, really interesting questions. But foundational-wise, the medical profession has to come to where we are and start getting a proper foundation. Then everything is explainable. Very explainable. But here, this guy was told, man, you're done. You've got stage 4 colon cancer, you got kidney failure, and you got heart failure. But the kidney failure is what started it, and it's the lymphatic system. All he's got to do is get his kidneys filtering. That'll pull the lymph out of the heart area and move away from congestive heart failure, whatever they got him in, and that sort of thing. At the same time, you can use the heart formula to strengthen the cells of the heart. You can use herbals to strengthen, and that's what you want, nerve power. You want to use nerve power on him. And I would do a dropper full 4 times a day. You're going down, grab, go, take, you consume, wrap your arms around, because it isn't pharmacology that's going to save your butt. It can prolong your life a little bit, and it can shorten it a lot. Herbs don't do things like that. Unless you're stupid and drink a bottle of poke root, then I'm probably going to visit your funeral. Fructose is the key, as I will research those foods to see if... Yeah. Oh, wow. No. You just heard me talking and just wrote it, didn't you? You just heard me talking about fructose, and then you just wrote that there, right? Something. That's how connected we all are spiritually. I love that. Where we're on the same wavelength. You guys are learning with these videos. I love you for that. This only matures you, protects you, helps you to know protection. It's crazy out there. As you hear me read these things and some of the situations these people have got into through the medical world and these children and stuff, it's frightening. This one is the one that I want to break. I want to see these docs pay. You have fought me all my life, and now I'm going to turn the tables. Would you talk more about which herbal formulas that you suggest and if it should be on them Oh yeah. You don't want to do one formula and do it for a while and do another formula. Oh no, that's not me. That's why we have our detox kits. Hit go, especially when you're dealing in chronic neurological problems, MS, Lou Gehrig's, Parkinson's. Oh yeah, probably brain lesions involved. So if you can use a circulation formula and help move blood a little more aggressively around the body, that's cool too. I used to have an upper circulation formula and a lower, but our main circulation does both now. That way you only have to buy one instead of two. Definitely nerve power. Now, get on down the road a few months and then get that tissue regeneration formula. Cell regen. Those are tonics that strengthen the body. And anything like that, you want to strengthen. But where do you get brain lesions at? How do you bring down the function of cells or tissues? I thought I had that turned off. There. You stop. Oh man, I tell you, slave to the phones. But you got to get these acids out of these tissues. Just research what acids do to you, or what acids are like. And the first word should always be in all chemistry books. Corrosive is the first word explaining an acid. Corrosive. An alkali is regenerative. So acids break you down, but that's their job. When we talked about the difference between a minor acid like estrogen and testosterone, where you're in the upper 5s pHs, and let's say a 1.5 pH of like hydrochloric acid or something, what that can do to you. Literally strip the skin off your bones. But you can reconnect your bowel better once we strip. Oh, I don't get it. I don't get that kind of logic. I guess I'm an old country boy and I wasn't paying attention when they went to logic school, although my dad was always going, common sense, kid. I'm going, common sense is right. What the hell is common sense? And I have one word for common sense. Awareness. So those would be the ones. You go in the kit because you want to deworm. I mean, you want to go through, someone like that, you don't take anything for granted. You go in, you clean them up. You're going after the adrenal gland, you're going after all his endocrinology for sure, because he's got pituitary here. And so you don't know about parathyroid. I'd have to see a picture of his eyes, because you want calcium utilization. Without proper calcium utilization, he has to rebuild the nervous system, because it's not just connective tissue and bones that calcium is good for. It's nerve transmission. We're looking at the parathyroid gland. So remember, the endocrinology of this gentleman is vital to look at, and he's 85. Of course, he's in kidney failure. That goes without saying at 85 on someone that's not been on a raw diet at all. That you can't be 85 and have a meat diet all your life and not have some type of major kidney problems. Just doesn't happen. There's nobody above the law. Right? There's people with stronger constitutions. Some of these old guys got some strong constitutions. I've always said their cells can take a licking and keep on ticking. And those are the ones that regenerate the best, though. See, the stronger the constitution, the faster you regenerate. It's just, when you look at all this, it just all makes common sense. The weaker the tissue, the longer it takes to rebuild it. Why? What makes tissue weak? Tissue is cells, a group of cells. What makes tissue? Say the liver. What makes that tissue weak? Well, what you got is a body standing here or sitting here, and it's nothing but cells, and there's two fluids flowing all through your body. There's two fluids constantly flowing all through your body. Your brain, your eyes, your nose, your ears, your toes, boobies. There's two fluids that are always flowing through you everywhere, including at the end of your fingers. What are these two fluids? Blood, kitchen. Lymph, sewer system. Common sense. Sewer pipes, kitchen. That's what you got. The body's full of pipes. Just common sense, right? So, when you have a problem with cells, what will you first look at? The two fluids. I mean, their cells are just sitting there, trying to be happy little entities, right? They're just taking what you give them. The blood gives them. Brings it on, man. Bring it on, baby. But then, I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Door's closed. It's locked. I can't, bathroom door's locked and I got to go bad. What happens? Yeah, right. Auto intoxication. Look at that guy on the loan. That native guy, man, I was rooting for him. He was doing good, but he hadn't pooped in 30 days. Remember, we talked about that. His stomach was cramping up. He thought he was going to rip his colon apart. That's because all he had was protein, and that's acid ash foods. Oh, what happened to bicarbonate neutralizing everything? Oh, Lord. So these are, and of course, he's been doing nothing for 30 days but acid ash foods, no berries to say or much, and so what's he got? A major problem. Proteins are very constipating. And then, on a loan, believe this or not, I love this, down at the caption down at the bottom, it says, proteins tend to be constipating. Ah! Tell Robert Kennedy that. So very seriously, and on the endocrine gland formula, I might even get the, just to be on the safe side, get a bottle of the parathyroid glandular and give him one in the morning and one in the evening. At that age, you don't want him to have an aneurysm or anything else. To have this much lymphatic problems, that's head to toe,
Hey, you got a second?
Yeah.
What up?
Hey!
How are you?
How are you? How are you?
Good.
Hang on 2 seconds. I'll put this.
Yeah, do your thing.
You running around?
What? Yeah, I got time. Go ahead, do your thing. Yeah,
Huh?
I'm just trying to get your stuff done and Jason's.
Oh, yeah.
Yours is easier. Well,
Mine's easier?
Well, I don't know if I'm on live with people. I don't want to talk.
You are live with people.
Yeah.
Hang on. This is my accountant.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
You always play nice with your accountant.
Yeah.
Remember that. So it's not always fun when the accountant comes knocking. Oh, you guys don't want to know. Horrible. Would you talk more about what, herbal formula suggests with this? Thank you very much there, Peg. If this young man at 85 has the self-discipline, I would move him, more and more and more into the high grape line, energetically speaking, will have more neurological energy for him than, let's say, a zucchini. But there's nothing wrong in, mixing it up in an 85-year-old, come on. But you want to be as strict as possible and see how he does and then move him deeper into that. The first detox kit would be very important. I'd add nerve power. I'd add parathyroid glandular. I would double dip on the endocrine formula. I would do the nerve power 3-4 times a day. You want to stay with you're working on his bowels because remember the transverse connection to the brain. You're working on his kidneys to filter. You're working on the lymphatic system to hydrate. I'd moving blood a little more aggressively around the body. And that's about what you can do. In terms if you want to work on him, get a massage therapist or you do this, neurolymphatic points. You want to start working up here in the upper C-spine and start working down that spine, working clockwise only, and opening up all these channels to get his brain to drain. Parkinson's is more CNS, and one of the other problems is we have an antispasmodic, the CZs, whatever. I would get him on that one and try to use our herbal antispasmodic as opposed to one that they would give you. Like cinnamon is an example of one that you would never want him to get on. extreme. I've talked about this in other videos about how addicting cinnamon is for Parkinson's cases. You have to be real careful with pharmaceuticals because their antispasmodics can be addictive to tissue, and that means you can hardly ever get them off. I've always said that pharmaceutical's worse than Coke. But that's where you got to go. There's just no two ways about it. And at 85, he's in all these failures. You got to get the kidneys. That's where his big issue is. You get the kidneys filtering and start getting that swelling out of those glomerulus and stuff, you're going to have a much better manufacture of urine as well in this guy, and everything is going to do well. Working on the glands, the adrenal glands, I still say there's a little pituitary here and possible a parathyroid. These are things you want to look at. Get a picture of his eyes if you want to send them in to Debbie, and she'll get them over here or whatever. You guys see Marco, what is it, Marco? Talk with Marco or whatever? We're trying to open up our YouTube channel and get all my videos up there, our official site for my videos up on the YouTube channel, since they're still trying to break the law and block people from having their videos up. But see Marco for that. This is Terry. Terry from Australia. This young girl is only 22 years old. She's 5'7", 140 pounds. Sounds all good to me. Ooh, she's got pain in her left glute, unable to sit or stand for longer than 15 minutes. All right, so what side of chemistry do you think pain's on? Acid. All right, so pain's on the acidic side, no matter where that pain is. Here's a good example here, if I can get that. 'Cause I've been cleaning up here. I hope I can still find my stuff. Oh yeah, you want a private? No? Let me see here. Where is it? Come on. Give me a finger. Oh my God. Horrible. Yeah, a mess. But the finger I show you with the lymphatic system in it. Anywhere along there you could have pain, throbbing, any place like that, residual pain. I mean, it can be anything like that. Pain is always acidic. And so you want to look at that, because on that side, on that hip side, that's going to be your kidney. So let's say it's your right butt cheek, right? That's going to be your right kidney that's not filtering properly. And that's what you want to work on, because then it'll be the right ovary, the right side of the uteri. You'll start seeing little things like ovarian cysts coming and going if you're a female, a little bit of endometriosis at first, maybe a little fibroid starting. That's how it all starts. And so that you want to open that door up, get your kidneys filtering. And, if you can afford it, get on the first kit, get into your bowels. I mean, this is all, and it's fun. None of the herbs hurt and feel bad. It all makes you feel good, moves you, makes your belly feel good. It's all a feel-good thing. Now, you might have some healing crises and might not be totally feeling good, but at least you know that your body's fixing itself, and these things need to get out of you, and they will surface and leave. Adhesive, arachnoiditis, had surgery to remove spinal tumors. Oh, man, laminectomy, L4 and S1. So here's the thing. That's your kidneys, honey. That's your kidneys. That's your L4, L5 is your kidney vertebrae. And so whenever you see that, you know your kidneys are the ones. Well, to get a tumor in your body anywhere, spinal column, I don't care where, you have to have kidneys not filtering. That's your lymphatic system. There's no other system there. It's not blood causing this. It's your lymph fluids, and that's your kidneys. And you want to open that up, especially if you've already had tumors there. Yeah, that's a little more than pain in the left glute. Come on, honey. But again, just you got to move lymph. There's nothing else to say about it. The lymphatic system is very simply your sewer system, and when that backs up, nobody in terms of your cells are happy, and then the host isn't happy, right? So that just tells me right there, but to have a tumor, it's kidneys anyway, just kidneys. But, on the spine and everything else, you definitely want to get that out of there. Seems like that's your weak area genetically, and that just seems like that's where your lymph is more involved. Get a picture of your eyeballs, look at your iris, and take a look. Take a look at your back and L4, L5, and your sacral and all that. Look at all of that. And see what you look like. Look at your kidneys. I tell you guys, there's nothing better than an iridology picture to take a look at yourself and see what your body looks like inside. There's not a medical doctor that can tell you anything fractionally close to what you can see, and no matter how many tests you do medically, with what you can see with the iris. It's amazing. A CAT scan, yep, you get a digital CAT scan, that's pretty good. But at the same time, you can't see the lymph stagnation with the CAT. You can't see the things you want to know when you're in the know. That's pretty good. Post-surgery, scar tissue and fecal sac area has trapped nerves on spinal canal wall, causing ongoing pain. Holy crap. Well, here's the thing, guys. When the surgeon goes in, fusing these tissues and stuff, they're not fixing your lymph system. They're not fixing the cause of it because they don't know the cause of it. Ask a medical doctor what the cause of a tumor is. What makes your lymph nodes swell? Oh, bacteria and stuff like that. Oh, criminy. Your lymph node's full of bacteria. What else? I mean, And so you've got to go back and get this scar tissue to dissolve. And the only way you're going to do this effectively, 100% raw. Nothing cooked. If you want these high regenerative levels that we talk about all the time here and that you see hundreds around the world getting, you've got to be 100% raw to get there. You can't be eating the foods. This is all about chemistry. Medical doctors is all about diseases, which don't exist. Playing catchy. We're in real time, real chemistry, real physics. This is how your body works. You got a sewer system in it, and they never learned about it because they don't teach it. No one in the medical world has ever understood what the lymphatic system is used for by the body, only to the point that the lipids buffer proteins. That's about as far as anyone has ever gotten in the medical world on the lymphatic system. Really? After all these years, thousands of patients around the world we've cured of everything under the sun, and no medical doctors ever, we all need to change our thinking. These universities, they don't want to change their A&P courses. They don't want the truth. They're like everything else. They don't want the truth. They're part of that whole system that doesn't want the truth. They don't want to change what they've been doing. They can't admit they were wrong. I'll tell you, I admit if I'm wrong. Well, I didn't know, Can't know everything. Medical doctors are not supposed to know everything, but they act it, and that's your problem. Got to quit acting that. So to get scar tissue out, and this is why, the way I'm ranting on that way, is that they don't fix the lymph system. That acidosis is still built up in those tissues. That's why things don't heal well. You get adhesions, scar tissue. Why? The body's trying to support itself. What do you think adhesions for? Holy crap. Things get weak when they're acidic, and then they start to break down, break apart, ulcerate, all these things like that. It's all the acid side of chemistry, and everything you eat, everything you drink, everything you breathe, everything you put on your skin is chemistry. That's why the natural health people look at their makeups, look at their body lotions, they look at their soaps for their clothes, they're looking at everything. Because everything is chemistry. And this body can only handle so much on the acid side of chemistry, and then it breaks it down. And just like it does every other animal on the planet or plant. Plants can't handle acid levels either. Look at what happens to plants in heavy acid air. Look what happened to the upper Smoky Mountains. I mean, it got so acidic, the trees, the plants were breaking down, the animals were mutating, the frogs were mutating, the fish were mutating. It's up in the Smoky Mountains, Tennessee. And it's not difficult to learn this. It's easy. Easy sneezy, right? Mm-hmm. Only way to resolve is to loosen or dissolve scar tissue to release nerves. How do you do that? You can't do it on the acid side of chemistry. And proteins are on the acid side of chemistry. Look at our 5 worst foods I put together for you. See if I got that here. I think we sell this for a few bucks, but it's laminated. These are the worst foods for you. I put this together to show you guys all about this. Those foods you can't eat and want regeneration, and if you're neurological, you'll never go anywhere. You'll keep deteriorating. And that's a problem. What creates brain lesions? Acids, right? Well, what system in your body deals with acids? And it ain't, sorry, Granny, the blood. Oh man, this is hard. This is tough. It only leaves one more fluid in the body. So honey, you got to get your kidney. You're only 22, which means you have more possibility of having a big kidney weakness than someone 85. Seriously. Now, the 85, because if they maintain a crappy diet all their lives, they chewed themselves up. But generally, they have strong genes if they're at 85 in today's world. But at 22, it's funny, some of the 20, 22-year-olds, teenagers are sick as a dog in terms of lymphatic problems, tumors, skin problems, things like this. It's all their kidneys. It's all the lymphatic system. Fix that system and every one of you can get your remedy. Understand just the few simple things that we teach on these videos, and they're all pretty much broken record. But there's nothing else there. You can study, but there's nothing else there. You know what I mean? You're against the wall. There's nothing else. I took it all the way to the wall. There's nothing else there. I can't give you any further than that because there's nothing else there unless you get into the nano and sub-nano levels. And then forget medical understanding. You've got to really get in out of body, and you got to really get into some higher awareness levels to understand what some of these sub-nano levels are doing. I mean, even the nano levels. And the worst thing you could have is a medical world talking about nano and sub-nano. Our scientific community is not aware enough to be responsible enough to handle this. Are you kidding me? Our scientific community has very little responsibility. They're not trying to create toxic-free drugs, are they? They have no responsibility for how their formulas and how their products hurt others. They're a pharmaceutical company. They can get away with anything. Pfizer, get away with anything. He's one of the big cheeses. He can get away with anything. Sad stuff, but, I can see why some of these socialists are gaining popularity, but the only way, okay, you're right with that, sweetie, have tried every therapy, including stem cell therapy doesn't work worth a crap. I've had a stem cell researcher in here trying to get a job with me. I said, why are you trying to get a job with me? You're a stem cell researcher. It seemed like it'd be a fun job and make some good money. She says, it's a go-nowhere place. I mean, this was a stem cell researcher that came into my place. No lie. And so I don't know what they're even talking about. They don't even understand, they don't even understand the medium from which these tissues are involved in. You can't go, hey, Mr. Stem Cell, we've got heavy lymph stagnation that's chewing up tissues. What can you do about it? Huh? That's the medical world. This is the way we chase our tail, chase our tail, chase our tail. This is the way we chase our tail. No offense, but my God. I got to run. I've got my son down again from Indiana. And sorry, I had to take a break with the accountant, but, with buying these herbs back and everything else, it's all kind of a mess. And so it's got to all be worked out and stuff. And it's like, I hate all that. I'm pretty simple guy. I let things be and go and things like that, but it is what it is. But you guys are doing good, great. I love all of you, and I hate to keep going, but I'm proud of this dude. I'm proud of this dude. All fruit diet. Very few people have demonstrated what a body like that looks like in an all fruit diet. And all I can tell you, the Homo sapien is a primate, is a frugivore, factually. And if anybody wants to go back and tell Dr. Walker of anthropology fame that he was nuts, you go right ahead. But I've read his research, and this guy is way out there. I mean, when you develop a microscope that can get into the very cracks of the teeth, I mean, you're out there, bro. And I mean, and of course for us, looking at A and P, there's no question that the Homo sapien is a frugivore. So when you're eating meats, when you're eating any of these, does frugivores eat any of this stuff? Dairy products, grains, animal products. Does frugivores eat those? I mean, you have some primates in that one place that does kill each other and eat each other. How aberrated is that? Extremely aberrated. That's, we've got some, our labs have done some serious harm on some of these animals. And I don't even know where that consciousness comes from. We don't do any harm with the herbs. We only fix and rebuild animals. We don't have to experiment on them. That all is because the understanding of diseases is not there. It doesn't exist. It's an illusionary concept when they didn't know science. And so the medical profession is a great fear technique. Oh yeah, it's a great fear kind of consciousness to have there. You've got cancer, and if we don't get you chemo, you're not going to make it. Oh really? Oh, really? Let me see here. If you do nothing, you live longer. And I've got more studies than this one to prove that. Huh. Love you guys. I'll try to get in here one more time this week because I haven't been, going in and out. But you got the gist of it. Namaste. May the blessings be, guys. See you on the next video.